What's happening, everybody? MG here, MGCovers, bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video: how to make creative wagers for long-term profit in sports betting. Been wanting to make this video for a couple weeks now. Super educational. Before we do that, as always, if you're watching this video for the first time, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Don't be scared to share this video with your friends that also are into sports betting. You can learn a lot about this business simply by subscribing to the channel and watching the videos. If you want to follow me on social media, MGCovers, covers spelled with the Z. Give out a ton of content on Instagram, sometimes even a free play or a lean for a particular game. And that is the same screen name on Twitter as well. All right, so I'm really pumped about this video. We're going to dive right into it. And we're going to do a quick review. And this is very important to understand this concept. Okay, so this is what happens. One of the big mistakes people make in this industry, they play or pay way too much juice. And when you do that, it makes it very difficult to turn a profit. For example, if you see a money line of minus 150, that equates to a 60% win percentage. A 60% win percentage converts into a minus 150 line. So let me explain that. So let's say you average, just for the sake of this, you make 10 wagers, they're all minus 150, and you win 60% of those wagers. So you hit 6 out of 10. That's great, right? So we come over here, so you won 6. So you had 6 wagers that were minus 150, and you won 6 out of 10. That's good, right? So you won $600, assuming you're wagering $100. And let's add up the losses. So you lost minus 150. So if you take minus 150 and you lost 4, so you take minus 150 times 4, that equals, $600. So how much money did you make long term? You made $0. And here is the problem in our business. If you playing juice or trying to build a business around playing a lot of juice, it's just going to be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to turn a profit. So, and you'll hear a lot of people will argue the point, well, it depends on your model. Let's say if your model shows minus 250 and you're getting minus 150, you have value. Now, that's true. However, any wager, if you forget wagering, forget sports handicapping, you have to run this thing like a business. So you have to assume a loss on all wagers or the potential. What will this do to my business? Because if you wager minus 150 on any game and you lose, I mean, you're down 1.5 units. I mean, you just are. There's no other way around that. Depending on, you can lower that amount. But at the end of the day, regardless of the amount you wager, that's in essence what you're losing. You're risking minus 150 to make 100. And what I'm going to talk about in this video is a better, more creative approach to that. So we'll scratch all this out here for now. So now that you understand that, let's talk about a more creative approach. Now, we're going to dive into, let's look at, this is an NHL model that I came up with. This is like literally brand new. And we scroll all the way down here to the bottom. You can see that we just started wagering this. It's 24 and 26. It's hit less than 50%, but still up 10.4 units since I've tracked it, which was January the 1st. The reason that is, look at these wagers over here. 110, 115, plus 166. They're all dogs. So if you understand money line conversion, meaning that if you're wagering all dogs, meaning plus money on every single wager, you can be 50% or less and still turn a profit, as opposed to that previous example where I showed you had to be even hitting 60%, you're not even turning a profit, right? So let's dive into this. Okay, what I'm going to do is look at a specific day, because I think this is a really good example. So let's take a look at this. And again, I haven't personally wagered this. This was the back test we ran. Okay, so we're going to key in on 1-6. So let me highlight this so you can see it. All right, I put an X over here. That means we played it on the puck line, which is very important. Okay, so you can see Washington and Florida, we lost, and we lost San Jose, but won with Winnipeg and Calgary. Okay, so went minus 1 unit, won this one, 2.15 units, won this one, 1.25 units. So we lost these 3, but won these 2. Now, if you add that up, that turns into, look down here at the bottom, 0.4 units of profit. but we went 2 and 3. So immediately, go back to this example. You got to go, even if you're wagering, if you're averaging minus 150 money lines, even hitting 60%, you're not going to profit. You look at this example. In this scenario, we played all dogs, went 2 and 3, and turned a profit. Huge difference, right? Huge difference. So when I say creative wagering, let's get specifically into that. So what we did was, let me first show you, using that previous example, how the majority of people wager these games. This is what the majority of people do. So Washington here. All right, we'll go into this specific day. You can go back and check. This was from just recent, January the 6th. So Washington here, this is what they would do. They would lay this minus 166. Minus 166. Okay. All right, well, let's do it with unit size. So let's go minus 1.66. So they actually lost, and that one lost. And let's look at Florida. Florida lost. No, Florida won. So they won that one. So that would be 1.5. No, that'd be one unit. Okay, my bad. Got confused there. So they would risk minus 150. They won. So they win 1 unit. They don't win the 150, right? Because it's a negative money line. All right, let's take a look at let's keep going down through here. So Winnipeg, let's go back to this. Winnipeg won, so that would have been minus 110, so they win 1 unit there. And Calgary was minus 220. Huge risk there, but they won that one, so that'd be 1. And then the last one here, San Jose, this will be a loss. And San Jose was minus 155. So minus 1.55 units. And we add all this up. So in this scenario, they went 3 and 2, right? They had a winning day. But look what happens. He still lost. He lost minus 0.21 units. So wagering, quote, the traditional way, you go 3 and 2, but still lose. Profit-wise. Because at the end of the day, what matters? The win percentage doesn't mean anything. If you're running a business, and that's basically what this is, what are you trying to do? You're trying to turn a profit. So this way, the quote traditional way, you'd be down minus 0.2 units, even though you have a 67% win percentage. This way, you have basically a 33% win percentage, but you profit, let's see if I got this right, 0.4 units. And so how we did that is very simple. Now, basically, for this, we're playing the puck line. So if you look at, let me show you this. We won't go through the losses, but let's look at the wins here. So the ones that won on the puck line were, and this is important. So we played Washington and Florida on the puck line. Now, when you lose, this is very important. Again, going back to running a business. So instead of losing, for Washington, instead of losing minus 166 because we played Washington on the puck line of plus 155, what do we lose when we lose? You only lose a unit as opposed to minus 1.55 units. Big difference, right? Okay. And then 2, let's take a look at the Winnipeg. Let's go over here, Winnipeg. All right, so instead of playing at minus 110, we played Winnipeg on the puck line, and look at the money line for 215. So instead of playing that on the, laying the juice of minus 110, play it on the puck line, that one, you win 2.15 units there. So the first example that's very, I don't know if that's the word, underutilized in sports betting is playing the puck line. You can play the puck line or the spread line, the run line, they call it in Major League Baseball. It is a extremely, extremely valuable tool. Now, here's what a lot of people will argue. What if, you're not going to win all the time? Well, that's correct, but let's just look at a scenario. Let me just draw this up so you can see it. So let's say you bet one team minus 155, the other team you're going to bet minus 145. Well, even if you go 1-1 in this scenario here, right? You win this one. Okay, you win 1 unit. You lose this one minus 1.45. Overall, what? You're down minus 0.5. You're going to still lose long term. Whereas if you play puck line, let's say the puck line is 165 here and maybe 175 here. You lose the first one, now you're down minus 1, but you win this on 1.75. So overall, you go 50% here, you're up 0.75 units. Okay? So one of creative ways to profit long-term in this business is take advantage of the puck line in NHL, the run line in Major League Baseball, and you can even play the spread line. A lot of people call it Asian handicap line in soccer, which we're going to show you that example now. But super fascinating, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this. This was a match from the Netherlands, same day, January 6th. This Netherlands team here won minus 2 to nothing. 1-2 to nothing, I'm sorry. So what I want to show you first, let's look at what the line was, just the normal money line. Okay, so the line was minus 222 for this match. So we're going to assume that I think my line was probably similar to that, somewhere minus 200 being in my own line for my model, and it was like a plus 15 point goal differential, so we had a ton of value. But the problem is, based on the previous example, you can't lay minus 122 for this game. So I'm going to show you 2 creative ways. Now, the first way we already know about, right? Playing the spread line. And this site I'm at, oddsportal.com. It's a really good site, by the way. And a lot of times they call the spread line Asian handicap. So, all right, so let's scroll down here. Minus 1.5. You could have played that for plus 128. Now, granted, going back to the previous example, you're not going to win every single game, but if you win 50% of them, and sometimes less, depending on where the money line is, you'll be profitable long term. All right? So that's basically the same thing we did in NHL. Let's take it a step further. What you could do, instead of laying the minus 120, another creative way to do this, play minus 1. Look what that does to the juice. Minus 137. So instead of playing or laying minus 222, you can play minus 1 for minus 137. Drastically reduce that juice. And sometimes, guys, you can do this in soccer. They have a lot of different lines depending on what sportsbook you use, but a lot of times you can find this in NHL with alternate lines and Major League Baseball as well. So instead of laying that minus 122, you can lay the minus 1. Now, let's say if they win 1-0, what happens to your wager? It's a push. Right? If they win 1-0, it's basically a push, right? So this is an extremely creative way to wager to reduce that juice amount, because again, the less juice you pay or play, the greater chance you give yourself of profiting long term. So again, and finally, I want to show you one other thing, because a lot of people will. This is another mistake people make is parlays. I don't know of anybody that does this on a professional level that's been profitable long term that exclusively uses parlays are a big part of their wagering. And it's very simple. In a parlay, even a 2-team parlay, what does your win percentage have to be to win that wager? It's got to be 100%. Very difficult to go 100%. And a lot of times what entices people is a lot of these influencers, people that write for different sports publications, sports betting publications, will publish when somebody hits a big parlay. But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, sports books love parlays. They're a huge profit. And so when you look at this scenario here, this is what a mistake a lot of people do. Let's say you have 2 games you like. One's minus 222, the other one's minus 165, and you play that in a parlay. The only way you win this parlay is what has to happen. Both of these teams have to win. Whereas the scenario I described previous here, if you're playing both dog money lines at minus 1.5, it's more likely for one of those teams to win by more than 1 and the other one to lose than it is for both of those teams to win outright. So playing it on the puck line, spread line, etc., and splitting is more likely to happen than both of those teams cashing on the money line. So anyway, so I hope this video helped. One quick tip about this, or let you guys know, this actual model here, NHL, if you become a client, you have access to the entire model. The reason I include that, this model hadn't been tested for like seasons past. It's something new that I came up with. But those of you that always ask about, hey, I'd love to see this model. Well, guess what? You get this entire model, what stats we used, how it's constructed, how I came up with the plays for each day. So you get access to this entire model simply by becoming a client. $49.95 per month, and you get access to all of my lines for all sports. In addition to that, all my coaching videos as well on the site. If you want access to all my plays, that's $99 a month, and you get access to everything on the site. If you join for a year, that's the best value. It's like getting an associate's degree in sports betting. You save about $600 on the year, so you get access to everything for an entire year for $500. Hope you like this video. Again, make creative wagers, stay off that juice, and you should be profitable long term. Peace.